Today we're going to look at Section B of the Program Self-Study or Assessment in the Major template. We're going to try to move through as much of this as we possibly can in a timely fashion. I'm trying to keep these videos under 10 minutes, so I'm assuming we'll get about halfway through Section B for this tutorial. We're going to start off with the program description narrative, and you can see I've already got it pasted in here for TCOM. Where will you find your program description narrative? You're going to find it on your program home page most likely. Now every program has a little bit of a different setup. There's some uniformity, but here we have technological communications. We've jumped to the program description, and the description that we have thus far is contained right here. Some people choose to include the students in the major and the career opportunities admissions requirements here as well, but the bare minimum is to include this. So you'll select text and image, and you will paste that in. We'll remove the formatting, and we'll save and return. So for the time being, we've taken care of this to the bare minimum. We'll jump into the decree requirements. Yeah, the decree requirements. Okay, that's good. Here you'll want to check this out, and you'll see I've already got it in here, but I want to show you how it works anyways. Back on the program description page for TCOM, you'll see the program requirements for the curriculum and the curriculum number. If you just copy this all the way down through, we'll delete this section for the time being, and we'll put it in here again. We're going to go for text and image. We're going to Control V, and we're going to remove the formatting for this one. It's absolutely important that you remove the formatting, because if you keep the formatting, pieces of information appear to be missing from the report. So if we remove it, you can see that some semblance of the formatting has been left intact, which is great. You come back here and you double check it to make sure that the formatting is good to go. We check this in, and we are all set. Now the course outcome and PSO alignment is where things sometimes get a little bit tricky, but of course it doesn't take much to get where you need to be. We're going to go home, and we're going to Control F for technological communications. You can see we're already there. We go into the assessment and planning workspace. The relationship between your program outcomes and your course outcomes is fairly reasonably reflected in either your curriculum map or your assessment map. Now I know already that for TCOM we housed everything in the curriculum activity map area. You can ask for a PDF. The PDF will eventually appear. You can download this to your desktop, change the title to whatever you want, TCOM assessment map, save it. Go back home. We're going to look for technological communications again. Here it is, conveniently. Assessment in the major. We're going to scroll down to the course and outcome and program outcome alignment. We're going to check this out, and we're going to do an attachment this time. So you can see I've already attached it here. You can select upload from computer, and it's going to allow you to drag the file here. So I just drag the PDF here. I can start the upload, select upload and close, and when I close out of here, or when rather the program closes out, you'll see the attachment there. Now that again is the bare minimum. It would be great if you could add text and image so that you had some narrative that described the assessment map for your program and what its function is, what you're trying to do with it, and then you can check this in and you are all set to go. Balance between breadth and depth is where things get also a little bit confusing, I guess, or it takes a little bit of thought in order to adequately express the balance between breadth and depth. My recommendation is have your program description opened up in a separate tab like we have here, and then you can easily scroll back and forth between the two. We're going to go to text and image, and we're going to come back here. Now you can see in the description, I guess if I cancel this really quickly, I'll check that in as well. Now wait a minute. directions. I was going to say, where did it go? Sometimes you have to unpack it, right? So just as an example, the GER and ISLO requirements contribute to breadth, while the upper division courses supply some degree of depth in terms of the knowledge that's shared in the program. So that's kind of what we're looking for here. So the first thing I recommend doing is looking at your GER content. We have 1, 2. Oh, they don't have the enumeration correct here. This should be 9 now. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Looks like 9 is missing, but 10 and 11 are there. I forgot we have an additional one now. So in total, we're capturing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's just say hypothetically 9 out of 11. So our program includes 9 out of 11 of the GER, General Education Requirements, from the State University of New York. These include, and you can list them all down here. So let's just say hypothetically we're talking about communication, oral and written. We'll go DEISJ. We'll just put humanities. I'm just going off the top of my head, but you'll want to go back and refer to your actual program check sheet here. List them all there. Additionally, our program includes all of our institutions' student learning outcomes. So those are the ISLOs, right? Our ISLOs include the following categories. And you can paste it in here if you wanted to. You could also include it as an attachment, or you can just type it out if you want to. Communication, oh, looks like it already did it for me. Critical thinking, etc., etc. Okay. In the context of breadth, or depth rather, our program features. See how many upper division courses we're looking at here. So we can see a reasonable 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. A total of 13 upper division credits, courses rather, including, and then you can put some of the names. List course titles here. Now you can go one step further if you want to, and you could make observations about the depth versus the breadth. So for example, in TCOM, I would make the assertion that even though we have 13 upper division courses, that doesn't necessarily mean that we're exploring specific skill sets in sufficient depth. It's something that I would actually like to see us work on a little bit. So for example, we have a lot of courses on media and pop culture. We have a lot on digital narratives and electronic literature. We have a course on identity in the digital age. But when it comes to actual writing, like digital graphic storytelling, narrative form, and video games, you can see we kind of cap out with just a sequence of like 3 or so courses. It's almost like having several micro-credentials housed within a given program. So I might say something along the lines of, well, we have sufficient depth in the realm of media studies. When it comes to storytelling, our sequence is somewhat limited. You can make whatever kinds of observations about the quality or lack thereof. In this section, you can save and return, and you can move forward from there. Of course, faculty in your program will be looking at this, and your dean will be looking at this before it moves forward, so they can always help you and let you know if you've overstepped a little bit, or maybe you've made a value judgment that will too strongly steer the external evaluators' feedback. And you do want to be careful of that. You want to let them have the opportunity to evaluate the quality of your program on their own and provide you with some degree of objective input. So when it comes to methods used in multiple sections, you can see here that it talks about how we have common syllabi, we have AACU rubrics, things along these lines that kind of try to sustain the integrity of our courses, even if we have a series of different professors teaching it. So we could talk about, even though we have several instructors teaching 2 of our courses, we'll just say for the time being, we have a few mechanisms in place to ensure consistent delivery of core objectives, something like that. A sample course master syllabus can be found at the following link, and we could easily use, let's see, TCOM 100, let's just say. So the great thing about these is that they include course outcomes that have to be included, the link to the ISLOs has to be included in every syllabus, no matter who the professor is. Okay, so we might want to mention that really quickly. The course master syllabus dictates consistent outcomes and ISLO linkages for the course, which every instructor must teach to. Additionally, we do have uniform AACU rubrics tailored to our institution. They can be found at the following link and dictate the sub-criteria by which our ISLOs are evaluated. Boom. I bet there's some of you out there watching right now going, we do? That's news to me. Boom. We'll come in here and we'll go down to the resources, rubrics for academic assessment, and there are our AACU value rubrics, which are supposed to be attached to our findings in task stream every semester. All right. And for the time being, this helps out a little bit. Now we get into scheduling efforts. And schedule efforts, of course, refer to, if we have a large population of online, hybrid, face-to-face students, how are we scheduling to facilitate to the needs of our students? If we have non-traditional and traditional students, which we'll learn about a little bit more when we get to the program factbook section, which is down here in section D. Are we scheduling courses to be offered in the morning and in the afternoon? Do we have Tuesday, Thursday, or Monday, Wednesday, Friday alternating for students? That's the kind of information that you're going to want to put here. How do you figure that information out? Well, one thing that you can do is you can look at the schedule for courses on UCAN Web. With a program like TCOM that's relatively small and consists predominantly of traditional students who are on campus, generally face-to-face offerings for the program, we don't have a lot of flexibility in our schedule. We do try to offer an online version of TCOM 100 maybe in the winter or summer to facilitate to those students, but generally we offer it during the fall and or spring, and we offer it face-to-face at a designated time. Those are the kinds of things that you're looking at in this area. You're at the very least going to want to look at fall, summer, or fall, winter, spring, summer for 1 year. But taking a look at 2 years and what kinds of courses are being offered, when they're being offered, how they're being offered, whether it be hybrid, flex, face-to-face, online, those are the kind of things that we're looking at here. So B5 is where we start to actually get into analysis components.